Yesterday, as part of variables, we have covered what is variable. We have seen variable declaration, variable assignments, variable types. So this is what we covered yesterday. And today's topics, day 4, outputs, locals. So what is output? So Terraform outputs are like results you want Terraform to show you after it finishes creating resources. So these are like results which you want to see after creating resources. Think of them as the final values you want to display, such as resource names, IP addresses, URLs, or IDs. So that is what is Terraform outputs. There are two types of outputs. Let me open this and let's see this. One is a static output. It's like echo in Bash, or a write host in PowerShell, or a printf in C. Okay, it is like a static output. Whatever you type in the value, it will be shown in the output. Like here in this example, if you see line number 15 to 18, I have declared a output block with the name static output. The value is I am like echo in Bash, or write host in PowerShell, or printf in C. You can write anything, whatever you write inside this, it will display. I will say I am the output you want to see. Okay, so this is the output which you want to see, and this is a static output. Whatever you have declared here, it will show. What is the other one? The other one is a dynamic output. So here in line number 21 to 23, I declared a output block that is a RGID. So I'm creating a resource group here, and I want to see the resource group ID. So how I'm declaring the value? The value is resource group Azure RM resource group dot rg dot id. So this one is coming from here, this block. So I have declared a resource group block here, resource block here, and this is the resource type, and this is the resource block name. So from here I am getting the ID. So I just declared dot ID. Then again from 28 to 31, I just want to check. So I ran this resource group block and I created the resource, and I want to see what all the outputs it will show me. So in that case, you can just type. So here what I did earlier, dot ID I typed. So now I want to see what all the resource outputs I can show it in the console. So I can do one thing. See, I can just declare like this. It will show it in the console, in this console. Or else you can just, after RG, you just type dot. Then you will be able to see uh, some of the intelligence outputs. Okay, it says you can declare either ID, location, managed by name, or tags. So any of these you can you can use it just to check. So tags you can check. So it will show you these tags in the output. So I just want to see everything in the console. I'm not declaring anything as part of this block. The first block I declared in the dynamic block where I want to see the resource group ID. Now I declared this where I want to see all the resource group related outputs. And the third one is a VM public IP. That means here I want to see during the runtime, I'm creating a VM. I'm assigning a public IP to it. And I want to see what is the public IP which is getting assigned to this VM. So this block, resource block related to public IP, I have declared here from line number 6 to 12, where I mentioned Azure RM public IP as a resource type and VM pip public IP address as resource block name. And I gave the details. Okay, this is my VM pip is the name, and everything. Allocation method is static and skew is standard. Everything I have declared here. So output from here, I will see IP address. I can also see other few other things. Okay, so when I typed dot, I see, okay, these are all the options I have. So whatever the output I want to show on the console, I can select. I have selected, I want to see just the IP address which got generated during the runtime. So far what we have seen in the outputs, we know there are two outputs. One is a static output, so which cannot be changed during the runtime, and dynamic output. So this three dynamic output blocks I have kept. So these are generated over the runtime. Okay, let me go back and let's try to run this. Going to the folder 04 output locals and outputs. Okay, now I'll type Terraform. I will init. It will initialize the folder. Now we'll type Terraform plan. Let's see what Terraform plan shows in the outputs. So in the outputs, it shows changes to outputs. So it shows these are the resource groups. Okay. Uh, so we have mentioned this, right? I want to see all of the options I have for RG resource block. So it shows all of this. These are the all outputs which I know outputs from the resource group, and this is from RGID. This one. So you see this known after apply. So this is a dynamic block, dynamic output. So that's why it is not showing any output here right at the moment. So you can see it only after you apply it. And this one is a static output, which I just mentioned above. Here it says static output equal to, I'm like echo in bash. I think I need to save it. Then you will see this output. Anyhow, it is showing the previous one, and VM public IP is the third one, which we mentioned just below. This one. So VM public IP will be generated after apply. So all the dynamic outputs you see here, so they are getting generated over the runtime and will be shown only after you apply. Let me run Terraform apply. Let's see. I don't have any resource groups. So what it has done, it has now created it should be creating a resource group. That is what is expected. Completed, 2 resources added, resource group and public IP. So you see this is the resource group which is created, and you see one public IP got created, VM pip. And what is the IP of this public IP? This is 172.172.173.150.164. This is the public IP which got generated. Is it the same? Yes, it is the same public IP. It is showing this in the outputs. And the RG ID is this. The static output is this. and the output for all we wanted to check. So that is also displayed here. So ID is this and location managed by a name, tags, all these things it is showing. So this is how we use the locals. Sorry, this is how we use the outputs. Okay, and then now we'll go to the next one. Are there, do you have any questions on this lab or anything about outputs? How we declare them and all?
Sorry, Ramesh, can you repeat the dynamic part? I missed it.
Okay, sure. Just a minute. Let me connect my laptop to the charger. Yeah. So what I'm saying as part in this outputs, right? So there are two types. One is a static output. The second one is dynamic output. Static output is it works like printf in C language or echo in bash. It's same like you are displaying that on the console. You write the output what you want to see on the console in the value. So I am the output you want to see is what I have written. So that is a static output. So it is something which you have already declared. But the dynamic output is something which gets generated during the runtime, and you will be able to see that dynamic output after you apply. Here, I have taken three dynamic output blocks. First one is RGID, second one is RG all, the third one is VM public IP. So in the first one, the value I wanted to show is, as part of output, I want to show resource group ID. So I have mentioned it like this. So this is the resource which I have declared just above. Now, the second block is RG all. I want to see what all the outputs it is generating during the runtime. So here, what I did, I just removed the ID and just kept till here. Okay, Azure RM resource I underscore group dot RG. So now it is showing, it will show all the outputs. The third one is a public IP. So I just want to see the public IP which got created during the runtime. So I just declared like this, VM underscore pip dot IP underscore address. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, we'll go to the next part, next topic, that is locals. So we have seen output just now, then the locals. So what is a local? So Terraform locals are like temporary named values you create to reuse within your configuration. So these are like temporary named values. Temporary named values you create to reuse within your configuration. They help you to avoid repeating the same value in many places. So inside these configurations, we use this to avoid repeating the same values in many places and make your code cleaner and easier to maintain. So locals help uh, for this. So to avoid repeating the same values in many places and also makes your code cleaner and easier to maintain. And a simple example is given below. So here locals and location is West US2. So there are multiple resources which you are creating, and every place you can't declare West US2, right? So what we will do? So we'll create a block locals. Then you mention location equal to West US2. Then reuse that value like this: location equal to local dot location. So in simple words, Terraform locals are reusable values you define once and use many times inside your project. Let me show you this in the lab. It gives you a more clarity how this local works. Main.tf. So here you see there are two blocks. One is a locals block and a resource block. So project is tech lines. So I have declared these values inside this. Project name is tech lines, environment is test, and location is East US. Now, how I am using these locals? So in the name, I'm saying name of the resource group like this, local dot project name underscore name. Then I'm using local dot environment and RG hyphen RG. So this is how I'm declaring the name and location equal to local dot location. So one thing you can observe that it is trying to generalize the names. If I make this dev, so this will go ahead and create a resource group for dev environment. Now I declared test. So now it will go ahead and create um, a resource group for test environment. If you want to create for prod, you can just change this and uh, it will go ahead and create for prod environment. So it is helping me to plan my environment resources. Okay. So this is how you declare locals and use them in the resource blocks or any other blocks like modules or data blocks or like that. And this can be used only within this configuration files. That means any of the TF files you can declare and use it. And so this is about locals and mm, let me run this and let's see outputs. Okay, I'm in this folder now, 02 locals, and I have two files, main.tf and providers.tf. I just kept the providers part in different file. This main.tf file is here. Let me run this. Terraform init. Terraform plan. So this name is supposed to resolve like techlines underscore hyphen test hyphen RG. Let's see here. Okay, so it is getting resolved like this. So that means our local declaration is working properly. And also location, local dot location, East US. So that is also taken, East US. I go ahead and apply, it will create a resource group. So now let's see little advanced part of this. So what is that extra I have added here? That is this one, tags. I have added common tags and I reused the locals which I have mentioned here. Like if you see, I want the I want a tag with environment. Something which I have already declared inside this block, I am reusing this inside the tag local.environment within the same block and project local.project underscore name, which I declared just above. And the owner is this, which I'm which I'm declaring directly. So something which is already declared earlier in this same block, in this block can be reused if you want, then then you can go ahead and apply. So here storage is also there, and anyhow we are not using any locals in this block. Okay, I'm not going ahead and applying this part because in the state management, anyhow, we'll be going ahead and creating this storage account. So I'll be explaining you clearly there why I'm creating the storage account. So this is about locals, and let's see if the resource is created in Azure Cloud. Refresh. Yeah, here it is. So this is now created. Going back, I'll just go ahead and uncomment this because I'm not going to run this. Any questions on output or locals?
Uh, quick question, Ramesh, on the locals especially. So
Hmm.
the local, the functionality is similar to as a variable, but only the inputs are within the code itself. So is this the functionality, unless the prefix is specified as local dot whatever the variable that we are putting it. So is it
Correct.
can
You are
I can
correct.
yeah,
You are
okay.
correct. You are correct. So now what happens? See, I want to create a different environment. I want to generalize this code with the minimal inputs. Like I just want to give project name, environment. That's it. I want all the resources for that environment to be created. Here, if you see line number 9, so this is the nomenclature which I'm following for in my organization. That is the project name, then the environment hyphen RJ. Similarly, my storage account will also look like this. At the end, it will be SA storage account.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
but
to
I need to
maintain the okay.
maintaining that we are using, and I will
Oh,
say I can make this as variable var dot env,
yeah.
and I pass it from my variable block. Then it will generalize everything.
Ex-
The code looks clean, right? And you are using all the locals here.
Yeah, the code will be looking clean when you specify local versus the variables are coming outside. So the
Yeah,
functionality will be the same, but maintaining the standards across the code will be more useful. Okay, got it. Thanks.
correct. Yeah. And there are few other things when you take the variables, right? Like I have a DB connection string. I cannot hard code this here, right? And use it as a local because this is something I declare it here itself as a static value. DB connection string, you have to bring it from variables. Yesterday we have seen the sensitive data, right? So
Yeah.
those kind of things we have to pass it as a variables through this one. And you can declare this in the locals and then reuse it as var or like that.
Okay. Okay. In shell, there is a comparable thing where we use environment variables versus derived
Mhm.
variables actually. So it
Yeah.
is yeah. Okay.
So these outputs, outputs, locals, even outputs are like variables only. You know, it is coming out as um, so some kind of variable which is it is coming out. It is a placeholder, right? Variable means placeholder. So it is having some value, and we are trying to show that in the output block. So these are all part, in somewhere they are part of this variables only. So that's the reason I wanted to cover outputs and locals immediately after the variables.